And we'd like to welcome you back. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Woodford County by 12 over North Oldham still at halftime. And what are some key adjustments both teams are going to make, Gary?
Well, let's take a look at North Oldham. Surprisingly, many people thought they would be the favorites of this game. They've come out of the box really slow, and what that really amounts to is they've not been able to shoot the ball well. And as they've struggled a little bit the other night, it continues tonight. And really the only person putting up any points whatsoever is Dallas Roberts. To compound that, Ian Higdon, with our second leading scorer rebounder, he's in foul trouble, 2 fouls, spent a portion of the time on the bench, and no one else really picked up the slack. For Woodford, we had an early look at Jasper Johnson, thought to be a really great athlete. Outside shooting was suspect. So what's he do? He makes 3 of his first 4 3-pointers. Led him in double figures. The athleticism and quickness of Woodford really presented a problem, it appeared, for North this first half. Right at the end, North had a little bit of hope. They went 1-2-2 zone. They forced some really goofy turnovers, if you will, that really weren't precipitated by North. 3 straight turnovers enabled North to get back in it, and that's how we stand here at half, 23-11, Woodford County's favor.
So the winner will take on the winner of game 2 tonight, Collins and Simon Kenton. And that game will tip in the vicinity of 8 o'clock after the conclusion of this one. So Woodford County 18-12. Jasper Johnson 14 points in the first half.
If you're Woodford, you want to limit turnovers. You want to go back to the pace you had. Very slow and deliberate. They spread the floor. Still not sold on their half-court offense and how well they shoot it. They score points through turnovers.
Johnson in through Grant Neal.
Well, what they did is they blocked up Neal, where the bigger Johnson took advantage of him.
Johnson now with 16, leading scorer in this game is the Mustangs. Trying to mount some sort of consistent offense in this half as Fisher.
Whoa,
oh my.
Fisher got away with a double. Little late call. Coach Levitt's arguing, but the official was right. It was just a late call.
Take another look at Fisher. A near double-double.
North
versus Grant.
North full court. So they're coming out trying to see if they can get the same success they had late in the first half against Woodford.
Clever move by Smith, and he'll get the roll.
Yep.
Makai Smith, his first field goal, averaging 12 points on the year.
Little baseline flip shot, way too easy.
And a foul up top.
Well, let's remind our listeners, Jasper Johnson has been known to get in foul trouble. We saw that the other night as well. A couple of games I've seen him this year, he's been in foul trouble. He's got to learn to play and stay on the floor for Woodford's success. Dallas Roberts arguing with the official a little bit about it, got fouled, and it's play on.
Get the sense these Mustangs very frustrated as they try to get into their flow. Fisher carving room baseline, setting up Scales.
That's his corner. Loves that left-hand corner for the 3.
Jack's first field goal tonight. Back to 13. Very unselfish pass from Wade to Smith, and Neal just a beat late for the foul.
Well, it was, but, to tell you the truth, Chris, not a real good percentage pass. When you throw it across the baseline to the other side, the defense was able to almost get a piece of it.
As Woodford will inbound underneath. And nice grab there by Smith.
Once again, Woodford back spreading the floor.
Wade has a step and poked out of there. That was Higdon with a block, setting up a fast break for Fisher. And Higdon could not connect through Starks. Leighton Starks challenging that shot. And a great pass from Johnson to Starks.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of like they drew it up or something you'd run on the playgrounds. Once the ball came out, Woodford had 5 guys filling the lanes.
Now Fisher up and in for the nice response.
Fisher, great job on the lift. Got him free for the bunny.
It's Fisher's first field goal. 15 points, 9 boards earlier this week. Nelson so strong with the ball, setting up Wade, carving it around the defense. And Mackay Smith for 2 more.
Once again, everything's in the paint for Woodford.
Neal on the drive. David Levitch very subdued on the North Oldham sidelines.
Well, you don't want your team to get any more frustrated than they are. You have to be the good example for them on the sideline.
Johnson has it rim off.
I just think Johnson will, if he continues to shoot out there, give North a chance to get back in the game.
Roberts tries to answer. And here comes Wade for Woodford. Now Wade gonna wheel it around.
Well, he's dribbled through every corner of this half court on this possession. Once again, Woodford spreading the floor, not in any hurry now that they're on the half.
Nice find, Nelson. Over to Smith, a little bit short. Tap backside, Starks. And Johnson lost that from behind as Higdon
got a little too cute.
Gathers it for North. Now Roberts.
Johnson did a great job staying down on the smaller Roberts. Roberts had no choice but to kick it out.
Fisher through contact. Wade picked on and the basket goes.
Well, that's what we saw the other night and throughout district play was that Jack Fisher, built like a football player, very strong, square shoulders, is able to use his body against smaller guards and drive them to the basket. So North Oldham trying to saw into this lead.
Some good minutes for Ian Higdon and Dallas Roberts. Both will shuttle out Miles Gay in. And Luke Anderson back as well. And Fisher, the conventional three-point play.
Which gives North the ability to full court press, which has given them a little bit of optimism.
Fisher 5 points in this quarter. There's Mackay Smith and just right through Fisher. There's Fisher at the other end. And Anderson, the emergency outlet.
Illegal screen away from the ball by Anderson, trying to help the dribble drive. He would have been best served just staying away. So full court pressure once again by North. Has had its moments.
There's Nelson probing, finding McCreer. And Anderson bumping him on the way up. Now Neal pitches a three. Miles Gay had it momentarily for North. Now Fisher scoops it up. Right through Luke Anderson.
Well, sort of overpassed. Very unselfish, but probably better served going up with it.
Dallas Roberts back in. Ian Higdon also reinserted for North.
North staying with the 1-2-1-1 press.
Anderson's having a tough night. That was a great pass.
Very much so. Kind of blinked for a second. I think he looked up.
Nelson back to Johnson.
Once again, Woodford spreading the floor.
Johnson blowing right by Scales.
I saw that one coming.
Back to 14. This will match the longest lead for Woodford. As Roberts has it stripped, Johnson got a hand on it. Aiden Nelson gathers underneath, and a foul as Woodford County, the aggressor and more outstanding team thus far tonight.
Very much so. North just can't put much of a run together. 1 or 2 buckets, and then it's back with turnovers.
Jasper Johnson with 2 after he swiped to ignite that fast break. Johnson now with 17. So many schools recruiting this young man. IU, North Carolina, Kentucky. Only a sophomore.
Well, you know, there's even word that, you know, he could go to a prep school. And I would hate to see that. You know, Kentucky kid, he's got a great heritage, bloodline of Kentucky players from his family.
Johnson now with 18 as the lead swells to 16, and North Oldham up against it in the 8th region semi.
Once again, Johnson, the only one on the Woodford team that really doesn't buy the up and under.
There's Anderson, got the roll.
Nice job by Anderson getting his body squared.
Anderson now with 4.
Once again, I know North's wanting the press to pick up the tempo, but they have to be careful on the back of their press. The shots they're giving up are basically layups, or in one case, a dunk.
There's Smith back to Jasper Johnson.
And Woodford's smart enough, you know, get the ball back to the money player.
Johnson with a crease on Anderson, and Anderson pokes it away from behind. Here is Fisher underneath Higdon, and credit McCreer for forcing that turnover.
We saw this last year. McCreer is back to his old ways of holding his ground and making the offense make the mistake.
He has been a difference maker tonight, has John McCreer.
Well, people wonder what if he would play more than 5 games this year.
Well, he's playing now, and that's all that matters for Woodford as Nelson over to Wade.
Well, I love their role players, though, Chris. They're not taking the, you know, those are the guys you're always concerned about that will shoot you out.
Nice take for 2 more. Santonio Wade for 2 more.
You know, Wade loves that one-on-one isolation.
Roberts.
All over the rim, but won't fall.
And Higgins somehow avoids his 3rd foul. As Johnson working on Scales. And Wade will be called for a shuffle.
Got a little happy feet and really no need in it. You know, the way he's being guarded, the man was back off of him. And I think sometimes Wade gets a little excited when he spots just a little bit of an opening.
Woodford led by 12 after 2, and Roberts well off the mark. All Woodford County tonight through 3. They lead on Glycod.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Leslie Gilly in Crestwood today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Waterson Trail in Louisville.
You're watching the 8th Region Basketball Tournament from Glycod.
Chris LeBar, Gary Forrest back live in Newcastle, all Woodford, as North Oldham still on the demise offensively.
But North's going to have to put together a couple of runs.
There is Roberts inching his way in for two.
Roberts got his money's worth there. He worked and he worked and he worked.
Roberts now with 11. As Wade will slither into front court, and a Woodford County 30-second timeout. We'll step aside one more time. Be right back on Glycod.
Winter is coming. The Farmer's Almanac is predicting a rough winter with teeth-chattering cold. Don't be caught unprepared. Call Thompson Heating and Cooling today for a special $99 HVAC checkup. Because the last time you want to find out your heat isn't working is when you really need it. At Thompson, we offer a 2-hour appointment window, so you won't be kept waiting all day. We are fully stocked and prepared, and 90% of our calls are repaired that day. And as always, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call us today for express service.
You're watching the 8th Region Basketball Tournament from Glycod.
Yellow Jackets call timeout. And what is a 14-point lead?
Well, let's see if they get back where they want to be. You know, this whole game they've done a good job spreading it. North coming at them hard right now. You know, I don't expect them to be able to hold the ball, but it spread them and good looks. And in the end result, ball's going to have to go in Johnson's hands. And, you know, they've changed men on him.
Johnson with a crafty shot in the lane off, and the rebound trickles to Fisher for North.
Well, a big rolling hook shot you don't see very often. I'm not so sure it was a high percentage shot, but
North Oldham trying to go back to back in terms of 8th Region championships. They've got a lot of work to do. Fisher pass into Higdon. It's off. Fisher cleans it up for North. Oh, my. And Smith over to Jasper Johnson. And Roberts got a toe on that ball, and possession will stay with Woodford.
You know, Woodford's looks right now a little tight. You have to be very careful. They got a 14-point lead, and it's almost like they're playing not to lose. You know, go back to what you did so well. North, on the other hand, putting pressure on them. But what Woodford has been able to do is handle that pressure, make the extra pass, and getting the really high percentage shot.
Johnson will inbound, finds Nelson.
See, there was a case I would have thought Nelson might have went straight up with it with a smaller Roberts on him.
And Higdon called for his third foul up front as he could not stay in front of Mekhi Smith.
They had the matchup they wanted out there on a switch. Higdon got hung and had to guard Smith, who is much more active with the ball. So Higdon played a long time with those two.
He sure did. Miles Gay will check in. Higdon will be out, one would suspect, momentarily.
I think so. Gay gives them, you know, a big guy that's very active, very mobile. Didn't hurt him when he was in the first half.
Wade, McCreer up, and a hard foul on Gay. Woodford County sharing of the ball here have been very, very impressive in this game.
Well, one of the things we talked about, you know, they love 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and there was a great example right there. The right pass at the right time. But now, McCreer, who's been a little on and off free throw-wise, let's see what he can do.
Again, only his 6th game of the season. And the lead now back to 15.
Well, you know, when you're hurt and you're rehabbing, you know, one thing you do in the gym, you stand at the free throw line, shoot lots of free throws.
A career one of only 2 seniors on this roster, he and Aiden Nelson.
Makes them both. You know, what one might have thought might be a soft spot. He looked pretty solid there. A little full court pressure backing up in the half by Woodford.
The lead at 16. As Roberts around the horn, near is Anderson. Scales. Scales teed up on a 3, and just been one of those nights thus far as it's out of bounds to Woodford County.
Almost too open, Chris, on one of those deals. Instead of shooting in rhythm, there was almost a hesitation, and you know, an air ball, not very characteristic of usually sharp shooting Scales.
You can tell by David Levich's demeanor there, the North Oldham head coach, what kind of night this has been.
Yeah, but you know what? I think he's done a great job. Instead of getting upset or anything, he's just coached, and you know, you try to be a good example for your kids, and they've changed. They pulled a lot of different strings with what he's got. Sometimes, coaches, you'll try to do things you haven't worked on or not capable. You get yourself in more trouble.
This game been dominated thoroughly by Woodford County.
And Woodford started out by spreading it, and they still continue to do it. They're trying to get one-on-one situations where they can dribble drive to the basket.
Wade with a crease, and a Jack Scales foul will be the 5th team North Oldham personal.
But, you know, Chris, right now it still plays to their advantage. They burnt 30 seconds in this possession, still have the ball.
Join us after the game. We'll have our most outstanding player as well as an on-set interview with our Don Mueller. He'll chat with a winning coach, and Gay called for the 6th team foul. I'll check that. Excuse me, that's foul number 7. I beg your pardon. So 1-and-1 looming for Yellow Jackets.
You know, tell you the truth, if I'm Woodford, I would have rather just got the ball out of bounds. Yes, there's opportunity for points, but I like the ball possession and points at the end of that. And there we go.
Gobbled up by Fisher.
So let's see if South can take advantage.
Neal scoreless thus far for North. Higdon scoreless. There's Anderson underneath on the pass from Fisher. As Johnson has that blocked by Anderson. Great effort by Luke to race back. And here's Roberts for North. Neal in for 2. And a North Oldham timeout. Full timeout, 14-point game on Glycod.com. We'll be right back.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
You're watching the 8th Region Basketball Tournament from Glycod.
Grant Neal with his first field goal as the lead now sliced to 14, and North Oldham outside of their huddle now post timeout.
You know, Chris, something to talk about. We have mentioned early, you know, some teams can play from behind better than they can play with a lead. I have this sneaky suspicion we may find this out with Woodford. You know, the night before last, what a great comeback, you know, down 10 starting the quarter, but it almost looks like now they're a little more hesitant.
And a quick foul on North.
Well, you know, Miles Gay sub, so, you know, we may see a little hack-a-shack, if you will.
So another 1 1/8 team foul. Again, Collins and Simon Kenton, game 2 tonight. Collins seeking their 5th appearance in the regional championship round, while Simon Kenton trying to get back there for the first time since 2014. And Mackay Smith with a free throw. We'll also see 7'3" Gabe Dines for Simon. If you haven't seen him, he is quite developed in his high school career.
Smith 1 for 4. That'll be the guy they're going to foul. They've sort of penciled him as. But now Woodford's got to play on the defensive end.
Here's Fisher, and Mackay Smith called for the foul.
Smith not having a lot of luck. Missing free throws at one end. Got called for the foul here. And stops the clock.
Still 4:30 plus left. Neal from the elbow. And Johnson up high. They might have gotten him, and I think so.
Once again, Woodford being their own worst enemy, fouling and stopping the clock, which gives the ball back to North and, as we mentioned, stop the clock.
Only the 4th team Yellow Jacket foul. Neal will inbound, and Johnson just pokes it right back at him. Roberts launching a 3.
Well timed.
Dallas with 14. As Woodford in attack mode. And Wade lofting it to Johnson. Starks was wide open underneath, and Neal got a piece. There is Fisher.
Oh my goodness, Fisher with a big push off, got away with it, but missed the shot. Missed a walk out front here.
Yeah, Smith walked a ton. Basket and a foul.
Boy, costly error. Missed a walk, and then in turn could be the ending of a 3-point play for Woodford.
9th team foul. If you saw that replay, you certainly would be in agreement with that botched error.
Woodford 1 for 5 in their last free throw attempts.
There is Fisher around to Roberts, a deep one again.
So here we go. You know, it seems like they've really cut a lot off, and then you look, and it's still
double figures.
Yeah. And a warning on North for knocking the ball away on the made bucket. Delay a game call. Next one would be a technical.
You get the sense that Woodford, to win this game, is going to have to make a lot of free throws. Well, maybe not after that inbound pass. There is Smith.
Well, if you're going to foul, you got to foul. And Anderson just thought by just kind of, you can't grab him and hold him, but you can't give up a layup this late in the game.
And Fisher's shot rattles off. This game started awry when Higdon picked up those 2 early fouls and just really changed the trajectory of what North wanted to do, but it has been all Woodford, make no mistake.
Well, that and the fact that they just haven't been able to make shots until right here toward the end. They've put together a couple of back-to-back threes. But if we remember correct, it's a 2 points for North Oldham the first quarter. You know, they just couldn't buy a shot.
Yeah, Woodford leads 11-2 after 1, 23-11 at half. And now by 13 with just over 3 minutes left. Santonio Wade for a pair.
See, obviously, with 3 minutes to go, you can't be overtly selective if you're North. But, you know, you want to try to get Smith or maybe Nelson on the line because the other 3 have proven they're pretty good free throw shooters.
Santonio Wade with 9. And Woodford by 15. Roberts has that shot blocked by Wade. And Wade going to scoot up that far sideline and fouled again.
Well, double bonus as well.
We're looking ahead to a potential matchup tomorrow. Woodford County did not play Simon Kenton on the season. They did, however, beat Collins twice, both inside 30th district play. Ryan Howard is in for North Oldham. The body of work for the Mustangs so strong the last 2 years, but tonight this one has belonged to Woodford. Roberts launching long. Johnson cleans it up. There's
Slick
Wade.
pass.
It sure was, and Wade kisses it in. I don't think anyone expected this by the size of this margin. Jaron Brown hastily and assertively wanted a Woodford County
I tell you what,
timeout.
that's twice tonight he's saved his team a turnover.
Take a quick break. Be back after this on Glycod.
Car's been damaged. Regardless of make or model, visit the experts at Roy's Body Shop. Roy's is locally owned and operated with free towing and lifetime warranty on all collision repairs. Plus, they provide deductible savings for every insurance claim. Open weekdays 9 to 5 at 2604 Highway 146 in LaGrange. Give them a call at 502-222-0948 or online at roysbodyshop.com. Roy's Body Shop. Collision repair for the people.
You're watching the 8th Region Basketball Tournament from Glycod.
Back to Newcastle. Woodford County just over 2 minutes away from a berth into tomorrow night's championship round.
You know, surprisingly, Chris, this is the third game in a row we've had a game with the margins in this 50 to 30s, which I don't think anybody thought would be possible, and particularly this game.
And a Mustang foul. Reminder, 2 more broadcasts on the air tomorrow. 7th and 8th Region, live on Glycod, Trinity Mail, and likely Woodford opposite Simon Kenton or Collins.
Yeah, this little guy, you know, he kind of started things off tonight after Johnson hit a couple of jumpers. You know, Wade's done a good job on the point.
5 of 6 from the free throw line. 21-point lead. Fisher inching closer, and rebound gobbled up by Aiden Nelson of Woodford County. Here's Nelson. Perfect pass, slicing through the defense for Smith.
Well, you know, field goal percentage, they've shot a great percentage outside and particularly inside.
Nelson with a rebound, and my oh my. North Oldham going to send on a couple of reserves here momentarily. And a foul up front. There's Ryan Howard with a personal, and David Levitch will clear his bench. Brooks Cargould is in. And Dallas Roberts play his final high school game, as he likely will check out to a rousing ovation in just a moment. Gary, sometimes silence says everything, and there's nary a noise in this gym.
Nope.
Ian Higdon, Dallas Roberts will check out. At that North Oldham sideline, the band, it's just been a quiet evening over there, and that says so much. Fisher, a hard-earned take, and he will head to the foul line.
Well, Johnson would have been well put of just, at that point, letting him have it. You don't do your team a favor by fouling and stopping the clock. Well, that's kind of the way things have gone tonight. Fisher, normally a good free throw shooter, steps up and misses his first one, and that's kind of how this game is gone for the Mustangs. Unfortunately, putting a cap on what else was a stellar year. I don't think anybody could have predicted this one.
Fisher 0 for 2. This a bitter end to the North Oldham run. Started last season, winners of the 8th Region Championship, advancing to the quarterfinal round of the Sweet 16 last year.
Well, I think, Chris, what that shows is you can never take anything for granted. And sometimes the better team gets out, sometimes they don't for whatever the reason.
Now tonight the better team was Woodford, unquestionably. Just under a minute left. Nolan Asher is on for the Yellow Jackets. Also Righteous Harris, Brandon Burton, Carson Probst. So several subs for Coach Brown. Hats off to Jaron Brown for having his guys ready.
Thought they had a very solid game plan. Many people may have questioned about when they would spread the floor, but what they did was they got good isolation